This is the story of my book called The Tea Shop. A couple of years ago, Laura and I had just attended a training session called Breakthrough. We were making some changes in our life and realized, especially me, that I wanted some adventure. My son lives in Taiwan and I had visited him before, but we decided maybe we should go to Taiwan and visit him there. So, as soon as we could, we boarded a plane to Taiwan. The flight was about 20 hours, and the adventure began when we got to Taiwan. In my mind, Taiwan can be divided into two parts. There's the more populated northern region, which includes Taipei, which is a very modern city, and then other smaller villages that are real heavily populated. That's the northern region, but then there's the southern region that's more visual and more spread out. We were intending to get to the southern region eventually, but we landed in uh, Zhongli, near Zhongli, and because of something my son couldn't control, there wasn't a ride there, and so we had to walk. We walked about 2 miles through this city, this confusing city, to find that our hotel had not been registered right. So we had to walk again to another place to find where we were staying. After a couple days in the northern region, we boarded a train. Taiwan has several high speed rail and other trains that go from north to south along the length of the island. Among other things, we got on the wrong train and eventually got busted for that and had to pay the extra fare. But also, there was a bathroom adventure, which you can read about in the book. When we finally arrived in the southern region and got off of our train, we realized that this was more like a tourist area. There were more people looking around and trying to find their place. There was a lot of activity, and we were immediately found out by the cabbie that seemed a little shady to me, but my son could speak Mandarin, and so we talked to him. He found us a motel to stay in, somewhat a distance from where we were, but it all worked out pretty well. Our plan was to rent scooters and travel to Taroko Gorge nearby and see all of the tourist sites that were there. Things were going pretty well until I accidentally crashed my scooter and sustained some injuries, and I feared that I had ruined the entire trip. After the scooter crash, we headed back to the northern side of the island that was a little more populated. Got reacquainted with Tanya, who was my host for the first time that I was there and a good friend of my son's. Laura decided after dinner one night, about 10 o'clock, that we needed a teapot or something as a souvenir for our daughters. And Tanya quickly escorted us to a tea shop, and that's where the real adventure begins. As we entered the tea shop, there was just a sea of eclectic items and religious items, but the most prominent figure in the tea shop was the owner, who apparently was an orphan at one time that had built this shop and over the years become respected in the community. He asked us to sit down and have tea with him, and for about an hour and a half, he made us feel special, and we left as friends with some lessons. I left the tea shop saying, "What just happened?" And it took me several months to unpack those lessons, but what an experience. In the book, I refer to the tea shop owner as the man with no name. But over the course of the next hour and a half, he taught us, not by lecturing, but taught us by example about the mystical, about experiencing God directly. He also taught us about presence, about being where you are in real life examples. And then he just literally loved us and made us feel special. And it took me about 2 years to unpack what I learned in the tea shop. So eventually I wrapped all that up into a book called The Tea Shop. It releases September 22nd of this year. I hope, number one, that you'll buy the book, that you buy it on the release date if you can, but if not, that you'll buy it when you can. I hope that you'll leave us a review and tell us what you thought of it. Those mean so much to us. Also, that you'll share the book with your friends and tell them about what you liked about it, and maybe even have discussions about the ideas in the book and whether you agree or disagree, or kind of agree or kind of disagree. I hope you'll talk about the ideas in the book. And I want to thank you just for taking the time to listen to this, and have a great day. Laura and I are glad that you tune in, that you read the books I write and the discussions we have. We just enjoy, more than anything, interacting with the new people that we meet through the things that we do. So we want to wish you the best. We want to wish you well. We want to wish you love and happiness, and that you'll enjoy the tea shop as much as we enjoyed the experience in Taiwan.